Good afternoon and good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants Hangout. My name is Joe Grabowski, and I will be your host for today. You might notice I have a little bit of company today. This is George Kourounis. George is a Canadian explorer and adventurer. And George, I mean, we could go on and on, probably all day of some of the amazing things you've done before, but hit us with three highlights, three things.
I explore extreme places around the world. So I chase tornadoes, I go inside hurricanes and volcanoes, and today we're 2 kilometers underground.
That's right, pretty exciting today, a little Exploring by Seat of Your Pants in the field. We are in Sudbury, Ontario. We are 2 kilometers underground in the Snolab. Pretty amazing to be able to, well, first of all, reach all these classrooms from deep underground. It's pretty awesome. And we're not alone. We are also joined today, and let me make sure I've got our microphone ready, by Dr. Erica Caden. Erica, how are you doing today?
I am good. I'm excited to have you guys here, and I'm excited to talk about Snolab.
All right, very cool. Well, George and I are hanging out in a lab down here, but Erica's in one of the control rooms. So we're going to jump back to Erica in just a second. But we thought what we do to get things started today, we've got classrooms joining us from Canada, classrooms in the US. We thought we'd talk a little bit about the process of getting down to places. It was an adventure just to get down here into the lab and then start exploring. In fact, we got down here probably sometime around 9 o'clock by the time we were actually down here and settled in. And we've been exploring down here ever since. This place is huge.
It just goes on and on and on. But to get down here, there's some tremendous procedures that you have to go through because, well, you have to travel through an active mine to get down here to the lab, which is a very clean area. So you have to go through the dirty area to get to the clean area.
We're in the deepest underground clean facility on the planet. So that's pretty amazing.
Really amazing. And so you get in this elevator and you get safety briefings. You go down. It's about 1.2 miles, and this elevator drops almost like a free fall. Once you get down there, you strip off your dirty clothes, strip down completely naked, take a shower. They give you some fresh, clean clothes, and then some safety equipment, eye protection, helmet, the whole works, and then you can visit the facility.
Amazing. The only part you left out is the really sweet fluorescent suits you got to put on first. You could see us from probably 2 kilometers away in those suits. It was pretty special, but we got down here, like you said, we made friends quick. We had to strip down and got all scrubbed up. And one of the first things we saw, and I think this is probably going to blow some of the classroom's minds, there's the deepest flushing toilets on the planet here. So we got to check those out, which is pretty darn cool.
They work well.
Yeah. So then we've been exploring all the different experiments so far at the Snolab. So when Erica takes over, she's going to share a little bit more detail with you. But we got to visit pretty cool areas in the lab. We got to see where some of the experiments where they're studying the neutrinos. We got to see exactly
matter down here, and there's reasons why this lab is so deep underground, but I believe Erica's going to talk about it.
Yeah, we'll let Erica share her expertise there. So in fact, let's do that. Let me jump over to Erica, who's been waiting patiently in the control room. Okay, you there. All right, cool. All right, Erica, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you doing?
So Erica, we were pretty excited about the trip down into the mine today because this is our first time, but you probably made that trip at least 100 times or more.
Probably getting close to 1,000 times at this point, but it never gets old. Seeing the rock, seeing the mining equipment, the whole group of people making this happen every day.
Oh, so Erica, George is making his way down to you, and I just had an idea. I saw the air shower in behind. I think we should make him take an air shower before he's allowed to join you.
It's a little loud, but sure.
Yeah, I think we should. Just make sure George is really clean because we are in a really clean facility.
Yes, we are.
All right, very cool. Well, Erica, I'm going to let you take over for a little bit. You've got some cool slides to share a little bit of the science at Snolab, and then we will let our classrooms loose with some questions.
Fantastic. All right, I am going to screen share then the entire window. And now, so can everyone see these lovely self-serving pictures of me?
You are full screen, good to go.
So, hi, I am a research scientist here at Snolab, and I had no idea what a research scientist did until I started in this job, and it turns out there's not much that I don't get to do while working here at Snolab. So this is a picture just from the other day. Winter lasts a long time here in Northern Ontario. So the Snolab is a surface building, but we're also a deep underground facility, and you can kind of see where we are in the purple pin in the map. We are in an active mine in what's called Creighton Mine in Lively, a town in the greater Sudbury, Ontario. So the red line, the red that you see in this map is the ore body. So we're a nickel, it's a nickel mine, nickel and copper and some other heavy metals. But a meteorite hit 2 billion years ago and brought up, let some of the nickel kind of fuse up and come farther up to the surface. So if you have a stainless steel sink in your kitchen at home or in your classroom, it is very likely that some of the nickel in your sink came from Sudbury. So Snolab is the inset, and the little red glowing red dot is at the 6,800 foot level, or just over 2 kilometers underground. We go down the elevator shaft, like Joe said, straight down, and then we have to walk another 1.5 kilometers. And the mine goes even deeper. They keep mining down more to get more nickel ore for all of the things that we need, that we use nickel for. A lot of it is stainless steel. So we are, like I said, 2 kilometers underground. That's 3.5 times taller than the tallest structure in the Western Hemisphere, which is the CN Tower. And George has just joined me here for when we go back to the camera. Here is a map of the lab. So like Joe said, it is massive. He was in the, I am in the room that is on the lower left-hand side of the map. Joe is in the kind of middle right side where the 2 red doors are. This is Snolab. We are home to a number of science experiments, neutrinos, dark matter, and some other biology experiments. The lab is 5,000 square meters or 54,000 square feet in area. It is ginormous, and it's just tunnels and caverns and little pockets of science hidden everywhere. What we study at Snolab primarily are neutrinos and dark matter. And they don't actually look like these plushies, but I think they're really fun to show instead. Neutrinos and dark matter are part of what make up the field of particle astrophysics, which is a bit of a mouthful, but kind of covers a lot of topics, and there's a lot of open questions left in this field. So it's a great thing to study, and it will be for much time to come if any of you decide to study particle astrophysics. So we use neutrinos that have come from many different sources, primarily the sun, but also nuclear reactors, and they can come from the Earth around us. Neutrinos form in particle decays called beta decay, and we can use neutrinos to study the Earth, to figure out why the Earth is so warm from the rock decaying inside. We can study the sun and understand why the sun is burning. What is the fusion process that gives us our light and our heat? And we can study how stars explode. What is the mechanism that lets that happen, and how are they so pretty? Neutrinos can tell us a lot about the world around us. So this is a picture of the experiment that I work on called Snow Plus. This was during its original construction in the early 1990s, a lifetime ago. So this is a 18-meter diameter sphere that is holding a bunch of light sensors. These are very delicate light detectors, and there are over 9,000 of them mounted in this sphere. So it's a huge ball, 18 meters across in diameter, and the cavern that you can kind of see around it is flooded with water now. That is 21 meters wide and 30 meters tall. This is a really big cavern. And this is what the detector looks like right now. It is filled with water, so we can see how water is blue. Each of the inside dots is, again, one of those light sensors. There are ropes that hold the detector up and ropes that will hold the detector down when it's filled with a different liquid that is lighter than water. So we use this to detect neutrinos and antineutrinos, which are my two little fluffy buddies that I've got on the picture here. There are a number of different reactions, but we're looking for more of the properties of these neutrinos. And this is a really great experiment that can try to understand different properties of neutrinos in different ways. At Snolab, we also studied dark matter, which is one of the substances that holds the universe together, holds galaxies together, and stops stars from flying off the edges of them. It compromises about a quarter of the mass of the universe, a quarter of the weight of the universe, but we don't know what it is yet. So there are a bunch of different experiments here at the lab that are looking for different ways that dark matter could interact in their detector. It can make a sound, it can make a tiny flash of light, and it's one of the big questions in physics, in particle astrophysics, is what is dark matter? So there are lots of more questions in physics, and we need lots of people to help answer them. So I am back here.
All right, hit that green button for us, Erica.
There we go.
All right, here. Oh, and that guy's back too. Hey, George. All right, well, I didn't want to be alone here, so I've got Chelsea joining me. Chelsea is a science communication intern at the lab, and this is her first trip down to the lab too. So a lot of people getting their first trip down to the lab today, which is really cool. So Erica, one of the first things that kind of struck me coming down to the lab is not only the size, but there's a lot of people who work here, and it's a very diverse group of people, a lot of different jobs.
Yes, so we need more than just scientists to get good science done. We have engineers who are some of the group who are sitting behind me. We have some science students over here too. And we have to build the experiments. We have millwrights, and we have electricians, and we have machinists, and we have engineers to run all of our process plants to make sure the materials that we make our detector are purified. We have an IT crew to make sure that our computers work. And we have cleaners. So Joe talked about how we had to shower to get in the lab. All of the material has to shower. It all has to be washed and cleaned and scrubbed before it can even come into the lab, and then we make our detectors out of it. There are about 120 people that work at the lab, and probably about half of that, 60, are underground every day, in addition to the scientists that come from different universities to work on these experiments. It is, and like Joe said, it takes all types. Every different people have different perspectives on what is the best way to get stuff done, and we need everyone's different opinions and experiences to make the experiments the best they can be.
Very cool. Well, you bring up the cleanliness, and I know how important that is. And I just don't know if George is as clean as he could be. I wonder if we can send him into that air shower behind you and just make sure that George is really clean and ready to be in the lab. I'm just not 100% sure about if he's ready.
George in the air shower. Yep, in the air shower.
Send George to the air shower.
So it's a little bit loud. So the air shower helps make sure that any dust that has settled on you from the air, or any crumbs left over from lunch, you know how George eats, that they're all washed off before you can go into the ultra clean areas. So I don't know if you can hear that hum behind me. Those are some high-powered fans. I can
see his lab coat rising, so he's definitely getting all that dirt blasted off. So that's really good.
Yes.
All right. Well, we'll let George finish that up. And just before we meet the classrooms, I thought it was really cool when you told us a little bit about how technically you've got a world records for the deepest boating ever. You want to tell us a little bit about that? So the picture that I showed you that was all blue of the detector, so there's water inside and there's water outside. So whenever we needed to do maintenance on the light sensors, all of the little dots, we would have to get lowered into a chair into a boat that was sitting on the water, and we'd have to pull the boat up at the end of every day. So we all have swimming training and rescue training, and have to put on life vests and use safety whistles, and have certain hand mechanisms so we could tell the person what to do, and be in our little boat, and then change out light sensors or install fibers or just do some other inspections on the equipment.
So this is the deepest boating. This is the deepest clean lab in the world, deepest, cleanest lab in the world, with one of the largest excavated caverns and filled with water, doing the deepest boating that's been done.
All right, very cool. And on our tour, we saw lots of other spaces and caverns for future experiments. So there's gonna be a ton of good science coming out of Snolab for decades to come. So that's pretty exciting.